Go into the fold and turn website layouts into an art form with Wix Studio.
Northwest Clarendon Warren Newby seeking to become MP as he goes up against Richard Azan in the September 3rd general election. Hi again and welcome. This is Links 007 TV News Report, and we'll be right back with the full details to come. Welcome to Links 007 TV News Report, providing you with the best in local and international news updates. This is a place where you can get the most reliable and informative news information. Links 007 TV News Report. Welcome back and thanks for joining us. This is Links 007 TV News Report. After a narrow loss to Philip Henriquez in the 2020 general election, former Member of Parliament for Northwest Clarendon Richard Azan is again throwing his hat in the race to represent the constituency. He is now faced with GLP newcomer and former Senator Warren Newby. Mr. Richard Azan, who has been in the constituency of Northwest Clarendon for 23 years, is seeking to retain his MP status in the constituency. During nomination activities last week, Mr. Richard Azan sent a strong message to the newcomer Warren Newby.
Well, one thing about it is that what happened before will not happen again. And with God in the vessel, all things are right. And the best is yet to come.
I know I said that was my final question, but for persons who are still on the fence, what would you say to them to try to sway or help them to decide?
Well, one thing about it is that they can be able to look on my record then and to know that I'm a performer. I speak the truth. And I'm always around with people. Don't matter whether win or lose, I never leave them at all. And that is the reason why I'm here. Don't matter whether win or lose, I never leave them at all. And that is the reason why I'm here.
You have a man who has never been given an opportunity to provide leadership. 23 years on one side, man who just have ambition now, youthfulness, energy, and want to provide leadership. He has come with a plan, and he has articulated the plan. And in the few months he has been here, he has made representation on your behalf to his government. He's an MP yet, you know, and he has gotten some things done. It stands to reason, therefore, that if you're going to take a risk or a bet, it's better to bet on Warren, who just come and trying to make a difference, than on a man who have 20 odd years and never do nothing while he was here. It's a logical bet. It's a logical bet. And even when them raise doubts about Warren, the truth is, you don't have no doubt about Azan, because he was there. And he had the opportunity, and he never do anything. He better be bet for the new horse than bet for the old horse already to go out the pasture and really deserve to become a display rather than to run a race. But I want to just reiterate that the new horse better, because at least him have a better chance to carry you home to victory, meaning to do things for you. A young horse too, exactly.
Sue me for wanting to fix the road in Baileystown. This is being done without 1 cent of the government of Jamaica's money. We are trying to solve a problem that taximen, motorists who use the road from Spaldings to Alston have been complaining about. We can't fix the entirety of the road, but what we can do is to make it easier for those traversing this breakaway. Tell them, sue me.
Political discussions is politicians on platforms shouting in the parliament being verbally combative. We have taken a very different approach to allow for the residents, the everyday Jamaican man and woman, to put questions to us, to understand what our vision is for their communities and how it is that we are proposing to transform lives, how we are proposing to transform communities. See, I'm on the pass, I'm on the coming. We're talking now. So yes, might I greet you all well and welcome you heartily. My name is Warren Newby. I am the JLP candidate for Northwest Clarendon. The community of Peckham is dear to me because my ties, my familial ties to the constituency is here in Peckham, where my grand-uncle, Cecil Gillespie, settled and raised a family. Many of you here are familiar with them. Gillespie's from down the road. All of them are my cousins. And no matter what you want to say, I am claiming myself to be a Peckhamite. So, when they seek to create a narrative that I have no ties to the seat, I want to remove that from the thoughts of every mind, because I am in fact Anya, and no one can move I from Boya. So let me just get into the community issues. The restoration of the basic school, access to the community center, the redevelopment of the playing field, and the resuscitation of the bamboo project. I'll start with the latter. The PIOJ is heavily vested in getting the bamboo factory back up and running. Very recently on Labor Day, they were here, team of social workers and economists, to look at how the project can become more viable. One of the issues that you face is the source of fuel to power the plant. And in my discussions with them, I pointed out that that issue requires resolution before you can pump additional money in. Because what is being used to do the roasting currently is not sustainable. It's not going to make it profitable. And once you recognize that, you'll have to make changes to it for it to reach its potential. There are other issues surrounding the project, including the management of the project that you all know. And the scale of it, whether the location at which it is currently located will allow it to grow into what it really ought to become. Bamboo is plentiful in northwest Clarendon, and we have to work out how to sustainably harvest the bamboo. We can't harvest the bamboo in a way that is going to lead to landslides, lead to environmental destruction. So part of setting up the bamboo plant requires us, of course, to sensitize people to these risks and to train them that it is done in a way that is not going to destroy or devalue the land, destroy real estate in the process, because we have removed the topography from the hillsides. But it's a good project from the point of view that it is community owned and that it is using a resource that is readily available, and that the products that are made are exportable. So it means you are using local products and converting it into high value goods, selling it for US dollars and returning the value to the community. So on those pillars, we want to see something come of it. But of course, the reforms have to be made that it doesn't start and stop, start and stop, start and stop. And every time it's going to require more and more money to lift it out of the ground. I move on to say, for early childhood institutions to function, you have to have enough babies to put in there. So I'm talking to the young men and the young women. Understand that if you want the basic school, you have to have baby too. Because it can't function without babies. And it falls within our commitment that we want early childhood institutions within a 3-mile radius of where the child lives as best as we possibly can. Because you don't want these babies to be traveling. You don't want these babies to be traveling far distances to get to school. You don't want these babies to be too far away from home, that in the instances where they are required to go home because they are feeling ill or school has to close for particular reasons, the parents are not put out of their way in order to retrieve them. It also makes sense that they are being schooled in the community, that the shared values of the community will be imparted to them in these facilities. That is, they are trained, they are taught by people who know them and know their families and want to see them excel and will devote themselves to make the extra push to ensure that they are Chicom is important to the vision of Frankfield and even to the wider constituency. It is one of the best playing fields in northwest Clarendon in terms of land space. Peckham Field used to have cricket, and right now, if we want to put on a cricket competition, in Frankfield Division. We can't find a location. Can't find a location. And I think the field should be restored. It requires some amount of work to create the drainage, to stop it from becoming waterlogged. It requires maintenance in terms of the cutting of the grass and the maintaining of the surface. And it requires lighting to allow for night events, particularly football. I told members of the community on a trip here that I am more than happy to be partnering with them. And I look forward to a time when we will actually be on that field participating in sports in a real way or cutting the ribbon because of the transformation that would have taken place down there. All right? So it's time to hear from you. What are your concerns? What are your issues? I've already dealt with 3 of them. So there's a mic somewhere and you can engage. I'm listening for the questions now. Yes.
I'm telling people and say, oh, no, I road in a pickup. One down the road to run the car. I'm going to come find myself with
it. Yeah. I see the road conditions.
I'm glad I see it, sir. That's our key right now.
Yeah, man, we see the road conditions, but...
Yeah. Rest up everybody in Peckham. Because you know, say, right to this. I'm not afraid to speak my mind. We want road, we want light, we want water, we want the community center to get back together. First time, we have competition. Competition used to be here from GMC, Moko, near Penal Boat. Peckham Community Center does lock down and I'll be over take it over. We don't like that. One people say Sunday evening time, we can go down there, watch any ball game and enjoy ourselves. And look at the pretty girl them too. Netball, everything used to go on and Peckham. All of a sudden, it's slow. And we don't like that. So Jamaica Labour Right Party, want to win and we get back with it. After they lock up a POS. And we don't like that. So all the afraid to tell them what I'm going, we're not afraid. The baby them are make and come into school, infant school, need to show. Because you can run, go look at your child if anything wrong. When you have to carry them to Frankfield or Tweedside or whatever that's wrong. You need to go to a community center and Peckham, run down and go look at your youth. And so me talking. Don't care who begs, but we need the community to run good. Thank you, sir.
All right, yes, so I take the point separately. The road, we continue to carry out road works. Certainly Councillor Clive Mundell. We are very positive that over the course of the next couple of years, all of the roads in the division that are parochial roads are going to be restored. I know that work is going on the Andrew Hill Road. Work was recently done on the Shekels Road. Work is slated to begin very shortly in Belmont. Work will begin in a day's time or so on the Lampard Road. And there's so much of them, right? Recently, the park hall to Cupid's Road was rehabilitated. And so you can see the effort of the councillor as he comes across in a very seamless way. So I have no doubt in my mind that very shortly he will be on this road to sort it out. Regarding the water, Northwest Clarendon requires an entire makeover as far as water is concerned. We have to look at where there are aging pipes that need replacement. We have to look at parts of the community that is without piping. We have to look at the various water sources and make sure that we are harvesting and treating enough to satisfy all the homes. And, you know, those plans have to be a part of a master plan for the entire constituency. And I've been on record to say that within 7 years, we want to reach to a point where only 5% of the homes are without water. And the reason would be they are so high and far away from the source that they have to just collect rainwater to satisfy their domestic needs. All else requires us to just collect, treat, and distribute. And I think that 7 years is sufficient for us to set a target like that. All right, I've already spoken about the basic school. The matter of the community center and its use, you know more than I some of the difficulties with that. But I want to say to you as a people, every community in this constituency will have to be registered as a community. And the way to do that is you have to have a citizens association, a youth club, and where farming is taking place, a farmers organization. Because it makes no sense for the government to invest money into communities only for it to be destroyed. And somebody has to have ultimate responsibility for the use of the community center, the maintenance, and the use of the field and its maintenance. And that authority cannot be outside of the community. It has to be people who you trust, people who you believe will act in a just and upright way, and we put them in charge of handling these things. Further to that, every community should have a development plan. And it is the citizens association, the youth clubs, who will have to come together and say, these are the things that we want achieved by the community. And for us to go through the planning phases, go through the budget phases, and go to the implementation phases, so we can track it together to see how we are lifting ourselves into the modern Jamaica that we all want to live in. Questions?
Yes, sir. Good night, everybody. Good night. You know, fresh comers in our party as we're looking out, you know? I hear what my teacher, we ask about some farm up business. But I want to know where you know. I know inside swinging at this some day, you know. I know everybody wants to start and I look for. See you, girl. Alright, sir.
Yes, that is a frequently asked question. Two sets of people ask about the farm work here. It's always the young men or their mothers. You know, mothers come and say, boy, I want to care for my son, and so on. Now, let me be serious about it. On average, a constituency, a member of parliament gets 50 cards. And I hate the way that people go around. I hate the way people go around and promise to young people to raise their expectations in a sort of way that you believe that immediately as you ask for a card, it is available. And that is not the truth. 50 on average a member of parliament gets. A councillor gets 5. So in total, the constituency gets 70 cards. There are 163 communities in Northwest Clarendon. So it takes some amount of time to even give one per community. That's the truth. But a number of the young men that I see who want an opportunity to travel and work are not farmers. They are masons, carpenters, painters, chefs, bartenders, welders. And what we want to do is to seek additional opportunities that we expand the number of overseas work that is available to our people. We want to also expand the locations that you are going to. So I believe that there is need in some of the nearshore countries for Jamaican skilled labor, like the Bermudas, the Cayman Islands, that many of you know about because I've met quite a number of people who have been traveling back and forth between here and there. The Turks and Caicos, the British Virgin Islands, the US Virgin Islands, right? That are relatively nearshore spaces that need skilled labor to build their countries. And we should be putting ourselves in a position that we can export more labor to these nearshore spaces. What is important is for us to certify all of our skills people. So if you learn trade and have one hard certificate, we can have Heart assess you on the job to see what level you are competent at. We can, for those who are not yet trained, offer you spaces within our network of high schools. So in the evenings, you can go there and acquire your skill and get certified by the National Training Agency. So you are able to go and ply your trade elsewhere, right? And of course, the government continues to make effort to expand the number of farm work spaces, right? And we think it's a favorable time for us, particularly in the United States market, for an expansion as they crack down in that country on illegal labor. So I think that will open some opportunities for us to fill some of the gaps that will emerge in farm labor in the United States.
Good night. What's the procedure about the book voter?
Yeah, that is another frequently asked question by the mothers, Always the mothers. Listen, book vouchers, we have registered at the constituency office, at the divisional office, and if you are not registered before now, there's no chance. There's absolutely no chance if you're not registered before now, because what is available is totally out. The fact of the matter is that it, even with support from private sector, we are only able to give out 1,200 vouchers across the constituency. And 1,200, when divided by 4, means 300 per division. And when you take like Frankfield with 31 communities in there, just put 31 into 300, and you see how much can be given out in a community. So what we try to do is to look for the poorest of people, the ones who are really, really, really without and have no options. And we try to support them. But on that point, I want to say to you that after my victory, we are going to commence a census of Northwest Clarendon. And we're going to look, part of what we will look at is the people who have registered for PATH, but for reasons unknown to them, they are not receiving the PATH benefit. We're going to look for those who really should be getting the benefit, but have not been registered. And to make sure that all of our people who should be receiving this social assistance are in fact registered and able to access it. Because as you know, just last week, PATH would have sent out an additional sum of money to every single parent that has a child going back to school. So that is the way that the government is seeking to deal with that aspect of poverty. And the Member of Parliament's office and what they receive there is really just to mop up around that, because there are always gaps. So as a necessity, what we are going to do is to do the census, identify the people, and to, get into the Ministry of Labour and make sure that our people are in fact getting access.
All right, good night.
Night. From Facebook, how are you planning to stimulate economic activities within Northwest Clarendon?
That's a very good question. So when I look around, I'm tying a couple of things together. We have 3 major towns in the constituency: Thompson, Spaldings, and Frankfield. Those are the 3 major towns. And in fact, when you look at them, the only commercial activity, or the bulk of the commercial activity in these spaces, is just buy and sell. So employment is limited to clerkships and distribution jobs. What I want to do is to put in each town a different economic activity that is going to use what is local and convert it into products, and then to sell those products and increase the income levels to both the people working in the factories and to the farmers. In Thompson, I'm on record of saying we're going to put a yam plant in Thompson. And what we really mean is that it is going to process tubers, yams, sweet potato, dasheen, cocoa. Because that section of the constituency is what I would have called the yam belt. Grows a lot of yams over there. From Mount Pleasant to Garlogi, up in the 5 Mile area, come back to Peace River, through to Bloomwell, up to Sunbury, you know, and all of those places, coming all the way over into Spaldings. A lot of yams and sweet potato is grown. And what we want to do is to access the export market with those products by our farmers through a cooperative system. In Frankfield, which is the town nearest here, what we want is to create what we call a special economic zone. I already know where the land is, but I can make the announcement with us negotiating and settling with the person who owns the lands. And in our discussions with him, he is excited by it, that this could take place there. The special economic zone allows for tax breaks for the development of industry. And it's a good thing for a rural township if we could secure one of those. And what we want to do is further agro-processing inside here. I've also been very bold to propose that the old railway building that is at Frankfield, up in that section that is called Railway, I want to have that converted into a factory that will deal with textiles and what we call stuffed toys. You know, I know them, teddy bears, just think about it. You know, every time that visitors come, they are looking for handcrafted items to send back as tokens and as gifts. And when you go into the hotels and so on, and you turn the gifts upside down, what you see is made in China. Made in China. Made in China. And I think the skill sets are here to do that. It's to cut, stitch, and stuff. So it's not high skill jobs. But it would produce for people who are home. For people who are home without work for long stretches, I am sure we'll be able to create income streams for them. And as I've said to people, just imagine, even if it is 50 workers working in a factory to do this, and they leave from work to go home in the evening, right? The cars that have to take them home, that the women will want to do their hairs. They're here. And, you know, they go to hairdresser, that's another boost. They have to buy food. You know, that's another boost. And all of that economic activity turning around. So we export what we produce, and we take back the money and we spend it locally by employing other people, engaging other services. Is what they call the multiplier effect of it. And I am confident that, you know, with the right minds being at the table, we'll figure out how to get these things done. We already see the building over there. It will take some amount of work to resuscitate it. But I think it would be perfect for that sort of undertaking. And then, of course, as I said, the SEZ, Special Economic Zone, that we want to take care. In Spaldings, we want a tech park. And I'm going to close and not say that. It's a shared workspace type of concept. So the people doing music, photography, film, the ones doing e-commerce, the ones involved in tech repair, those who are buying and selling online, right? We want them to be grouped in a common workspace that they can share ideas and, of course, share bills and responsibilities, and, you know, to grow our own footprint in the digital economy that has transformed so many parts of the world. You know, I think we can make that imprint in Spaldings. There's another idea that I have, but requires some testing before I can announce it.
Alright, so I think you answered half of this question, but there was also a suggestion. So, what are your plans for farmers? One of the main sources of farming was chocolate and coffee. My suggestion is to get seeds of particular plants like hot peppers and seed marketing for them. Also planted.
Yeah, it's a good. That person is really looking into matters, and I like that. That person is thinking, who's asking those questions. Yes, the cocoa plant, which is native to this area, it is the highest graded cocoa in the world. But we have been affected by the frosty pod disease and also the fallout of prices for cocoa over the years. So when I pass the farms now, much of them are in ruin, but nothing else is growing there. So we need a comprehensive look at cocoa in Northwest Clarendon, particularly this side of the seat, from Smithville all the way across to James Hill, right? And we have to look at how we are going to save this crop, because it's a high value crop. So why aren't our farmers making money from it? We have to relook the whole thing. And the same thing with other food trees like akis, right? And I like orchard crops. You know this? I like orchard crops because when you plant the tree, you get 15, 20 years of reaping when that tree comes to maturity. So it's passive income. You don't even have to do a lot for it, but maintain the trees maybe to make sure that they are not disease affected, right? And every season, you go and you pick, you can set your pot with it. The Aki factory is just beyond us here, right? We don't have enough Aki now, because what is being sold in America is Costa Rican with Jamaican labels on it. You know, one tin of Jamaican Akis, 20, 40 US dollars. And on the back it says, packaged in Costa Rica. The label says Jamaican Aki, but it says packaged in Costa Rica. And these things grow naturally here. This is perfect soil for it. You know, perfect soil for it. Also, breadfruit. And we're not doing anything commercial with breadfruit right now except to pick it and carry it to market. But we could expand rapidly our production of breadfruit, which is a superfood. You know, the breadfruit flour for people who are diabetic and that sort of thing. All kinds of uses for it, right? The breadfruit chips, you know, and we still have bananas and plantain that does well. And these are orchard crops that we can still invest in, but all of them, you know, less so the banana and the plantain, but more so the others require some resuscitation.
Yeah, what about the banana factory in Regis?
A lot of those things have closed down because of all kinds of odd reasons, but there is no reason not to resuscitate them. You know, what we have to do is to look at production cost. You know, that's what, can you produce the goods at a price that the market will accept? That is what is the value statement. Are we able to produce the goods for a price that the market will accept? And we have to look at everything from the farm straight to the production side, the distance that the food have to travel, how much people are involved in it, how much money, all of that have to take into consideration. But I'm saying the raw materials are here, and it requires us to think it through if we want to create jobs and create additional value an additional income for our farmers.
What are your plans for Sanganeti and Ferron, in particular, youths?
Well, all the youths will be able to participate in our Second Chance program. All young people will be able to participate in our scholarship programs. All the young people will be able to participate in our sports programs. All the young people are being invited to start their youth clubs if they are not a part of one, because the youth club for us will be the point of attachment for young people. We want to know that when you are visiting with us at the offices, you say, when we ask you, I'm 18 years old, we're going to ask you, which youth club are you a part of? You know, because we want to get back our young people into the spirit of community building. We want to make sure they are active in sports, and we want to channel opportunities through this sort of medium that we can build the value of what a youth club is, you know, in these rural parts of Jamaica, right? All of them want to know, I spoke earlier about certification, making sure that whatever skill or educational pursuit you have, you're going towards certification and putting the systems in place to help you to get there.
Testing. How did you get into politics at 17? How did you get into politics at 17? I'm interested in pursuing it as well. And what is G2K?
Yeah, well, I love politics from my bond. But I'm from a family of people who have always been interested in politics and community work. And so I would listen to the discussions, I suppose, and I would watch them get excited when there are election times. But my late Member of Parliament, Dr. Neville Gallimore, was a great source of inspiration to me. And I was involved at 17 because of access to him. G2K is the young professional of the Jamaica Labour Party. G2K recruits from the college campuses across the country. At one time we had functioning chapters in all teachers' colleges, all the university campus, and even some community colleges. So I'm sure they have a plan to get back to those levels of activity. And you know, it's very, the slogan of G2K is more than just politics. So G2K is involved in a lot of work, from blood drives to beach cleanups and tree planting. They are involved in advocacy at different levels. They are involved in international exchanges as they reach out to young people across the world who have shared circumstances and, you know, build relationships with them. So it's a very exciting thing to be. It's a very exciting organization. And I'm very proud of the time that I spent there, you know, and I'm very proud of the young people who are now in charge of it and doing their very best to keep it functioning.
Testing. What's that? What scholarship program will you start? Or is it just the grant from government or yearly?
Okay, yeah. So I have this idea for scholarships. That I think could work. We want to reach out to the diaspora to invest in tertiary education in Jamaica. So a lot of people are overseas who are from these very communities from Peckham. And many of them want to find meaningful ways of giving back. So I want them to name scholarships after their parents or grandparents, in the memory of their parents or grandparents, and offer it to tertiary to students who are matriculated. So just imagine, you know, maybe 4 persons overseas, 5 from one family, you know, could name a scholarship after Edith Brown, the Edith Brown Scholarship. And each of them, you know, over the course of the year, make a contribution of $500 or so, whatever it is, right? When that comes here, if you get $2,000, which is not, you know, it's not an overly high number, and you are able to grant that to a student who is going to a college, that would represent in today's money over $300,000. And it is that will be my outreach to the diaspora of Northwest Clarendon to invest in tertiary education and to build scholarships to honor their ancestors, their grandmothers and grandfathers and so on. It's the best way to cause their names to continue to live by paying it forward, giving an opportunity to somebody who doesn't have. And beyond that, I want to reach out to corporate Jamaica as part of our fundraising to help us to help students who might be challenged.
What about the hospitality programs for female?
Yeah, the take-up over the last couple of years has not been very great, particularly out of the United States of America. And some of the things that have caused it, I really don't want to be discussing it on camera. But I know Minister Pernell Charles Jr. is making every attempt at its resuscitation. We have very highly skilled hospitality workers, and I know he is making the greatest of outreach that we can get more people traveling to trade their services in this sector. Any questions from the crowd? We seem to be taking them all from the internet. Anybody from the crowd who want to ask anything? Yeah, we want to talk to the local people. Yeah, man, don't have to talk up. We deal with the farm work thing. We're gonna try we hardest for the farm work thing. Then we don't say no farm don't want it, and I'm gonna go out there, go beg as hard as we can and work as hard as we can to secure some farm work opportunity for you then. So I know so I don't want to hear about that, and I know say that is major concern. But me don't tell them already, we are go out there, go look it for no. That way there. To see if we can get more and more youth to travel and go build up a life for themselves. You know, but I stay around the back and I whisper, you know. And then tomorrow morning they come out here and stand up and say, oh, boy, Newby come up here and him even talk nothing about what we want here, you know. Yeah. You know? You know, I don't wake up tomorrow, man, and I bud me out, so I don't say, oh, no, want me to say, no, I never ask me a question every time I the mic to deal with you. I'm going to say to you, say, no next politician now come do that. Well, we can't make that the most said, no next politician, when Uno Siboya, ever come stand up before no one and say, come question me, then I start away. I thought go and go behave yourself before we have to put you out to the youth.
Yes, good night, good night.
Yes, yes.
I have a question here. We have to go back to the community center, right? Plenty youth in this area need to be upgraded, right? We need by the community center maybe an instructor who can come to the community 1 day or 2 days a week, like training the youth them to get a trade, like welding, plumbing, etc., etc. of the line, right? You know, eventually when they can graduate or so like that, they can go out and get a job, you know? So I'm looking forward for you to have that in place, to see that the youth have something as a tradesman to their future, you know. Another thing again, orange, you know, orange and cocoa and coffee in this area. You know, so we don't like some improvement on the farmers them to really, you know, get some help to their farming, you know. So, Mr. Politician, I want you to help the people in the community, you know. The people in the community need help. And really, if you put you in a vote for you, you have to help who vote for you to make you be an MP for the area, you know. So, deal with the people and the youth, that they can get something professional when they're growing up to be a big man and go and get a trade, you know. Sitting here in this community, not doing nothing, maybe the police or someone or whatever, you know, involved in something, but if they have a trade, because the community is down there, and they need somebody who can help them to be a professional tradesman, you know, that's my goals for now. And first, the water is very, very important for us. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, I agree with you that every young person should be certified to do something. And we want to work with them. As I've said before, I want to work with them through the youth club movement. I want to work with them with the skills training. Right? But they have to indicate. It can't be. It's a very expensive thing to train a person. Not cheap. Not cheap to train a person. And the government is not into waste. So when we create training opportunities, it must be that the people are willing to take up the opportunity. And they have to indicate the skill area that they want, that we can get. Because it don't make no sense. You put welding down there and all the equipment that is required for welding. But at the end of the day, it's only 5 person turn up. So they want to be welder. You understand? It's far easier for us to move those 5 persons to a location where 20 others are who are doing welding, and make sure they get the training there. And to just open up and say, yes, we have skills training down there, but we don't have enough people inside it. Check. So for us, we want to work with the community to build a plan that will deliver on their aspirations. And like you, I'm very concerned about young men who have no certification. I'm concerned about some of them who don't seem to understand that their days are slipping by them. You know, some of them I see making no effort, and it worries me. It worries me, you know, as to what will happen, what are the outcomes they expect when you're making no effort whatsoever. I don't know. So I become very concerned about them, and I want to do right by them to help them to make good decisions about their future and to invest in them such that they will be able to achieve their full potential. The water, I spoke about it already. Need a comprehensive plan to look at where pipe replacement is needed, where additional storage is needed, additional treatment, etc. All of that. So you know, we're going to map out the water and deal with it.
Hello, the young man was just talking about the youth club. I was a member of the youth club, and I have a certificate in housekeeping, and I still can't get a job. Then me enter police youth club, me get a certificate in policing, and I still can't get a job. So you have enough young youth have certificate in a certain category and still not get a job. Over 4 certificates I have, and them can't get no work.
Yeah. So it's always, I'm happy that you're certified, and I'm happy that you have raised that, right? This is part of what the census will reveal to us, because we want to know what the skill areas are that people have. We want to know who is employed, who is underemployed, and then what kind of plan can we put in place to change your circumstance.
Youths will do modeling that I want. You have young girls will do earring that I too, and so many other categories.
Yeah. So we will see through numbers how many people have the certificates and are not working. And then we can look at what needs to be done to get them to work. So, you know, I hear the plea, but to answer in a more direct way requires more information. Is it 50 people who have been certified in housekeeping that are without work, you know, etc. So we have to look at it. We have to look at what the numbers are saying and then see how best to apply solutions to it. Next question.
Someone from King Street in 9 Mile is asking about light posts being installed in their street.
King Street in 9 Miles, I walked there recently. Yes, King Street is one of those areas, along with so many others that I have visited. An entire stretch of Peace River that is without formal electricity. An entire stretch in Union Jericho that is without also, you know, parts of one lane up in Victoria. Then we have over by Woodside in Grantham there, and so on. So many of them documented and so on. waiting on rural electrification or JCIF to solve the issue. So we're going to be very strong on getting the utility in for those people who are without it. We'll have to map, look where it is lacking, and go and work with the agencies to get it fixed.
What happened to the adults then we can read? You have any plans for those?
Adults who can't read. Okay, yes. We're launching what we call our Second Chance program. It's intended to provide opportunities for every single person who wants to learn. So those who have dropped out of school, because of poverty, the ladies who would have had their education discontinued because of teenage pregnancy, etc. Those who, for whatever reason, were not able to learn to read in school, but still have the ambition to be able to read. Our Second Chance program will provide this opportunity for you to come back into a formal setting and to lift your skills. It also provides other opportunities, because if you want to upskill, right, if you want to learn something new, we want to, education is lifelong, learning is lifelong. So want you to register and, participate as best you can. And yes, we're going to use the community centers, we're going to use the school facilities to enable this, enable our Second Chance program. Where will you be able to register? Yes, after this closes, the recruitment process will start. So depending on where they're going to use, maybe like in Peckham here, they'll be using the community center. So you'll be notified and you'll be able to register at the location that is nearest to you.
Something from online, you're saying that a mirror is needed in 9 Mile at the corner of King Street. You know where that B corner is?
Yes, I know the corner. So they want a mirror that they're able to see while they're turning. Alright, so I can ask Ms. Smith to make a note of that for us to submit it to the NWA for action.
And also from Zinc Shop to the square, from Zinc Shop Square to the church, they need street lights.
The street light is a local government matter and is under the purview of the councillors, but we can always lobby for additional street lights. Alright, so we are nearing close now. I don't traditionally gotten. Lots of noise and so on. But it is valuable to reason, come together and share ideas. We don't have all of the solutions. You know the local conditions. You can instruct us. What we are opening is dialogue with you. And I want you to feel free to make your suggestions and to advise us that we can do right on your behalf. This is not kingship. This is leadership through servanthood. So we want to serve you. Your ideas are valuable and valid. Please share them with us that we can incorporate them and we can work together for best outcomes. I want to thank you all for your time. I want to thank you for coming out of your homes to share with me in this way. I want to encourage you.
We appreciate your concern when you come talk to me about. So all the young youth them, you know, say, well, I know young. So if a young man come and appreciate you, know, I want to give him the appreciation. All man them to come out of business, give the young people them a chance and make them go through. Because we done all already. That's what we have to do, is back the young youth them. Straight up. So we appreciate that still. Yeah. All man to step aside, give a young youth them the blind, make them go through. That's all we have to do, to represent the young youth them and make them follow and do the right. Show our labor right. Born labor right. No matter what they want to say about me and Mary, no boy can chat to me. Because they know say, I ratted this. I'm not afraid of no boy. No. So my boss, big respect for know say you can keep on meeting right now Peckham Square. Appreciation, so yeah. A favorite time. We all still, but me have to back the young youth them in them. I'm going to do nothing. Because I want to a young people time. I would like that. Straight up, a young people I make we survive. You the PP youth them tell me say, through me all, they have me as a old boy with them. And they never keep me up. So yo, keep up on a young fella we do not do. Because so you go. Back out the old boy, they make the young people them survive, man. Oh God. A young people time. Show our labor rights. Straight up.
Alright, what you bless up yourself. One give thanks to one give thanks.
Big up my virgin Joe, because you know say for your youth. For your little boy, I grow son with that factory. We are grow you and you come up and progressive for your young youth. So we can't let you down. We have to make big you too. So yo, big up your boss too. So yo, a young people time, man. Some of we all man to go sit down. Labor right, big up, show.
Yeah, so thank you all. Thank you, Ratty. Thank to all the youths. Thank to all the people who came out. I'm encouraging you all to go out and vote on Wednesday. Right, this movement can move forward with your support, right? Or there's someone.
Yeah. Last question. Would you debate Azan?
Tomorrow morning. Wake me up anytime. At 5 a.m. 12, 2, 7, 1 p.m.
Yeah, you see that challenge too.
Anytime, any place. Just tell me when, where, I'll be there. Any place, anywhere, anytime. Let me know. I'm ready.
Testing. Someone is asking, what are your plans for Peace River?
Peace River, the Peace River Road should begin anytime soon. My last update was that RADA has issued a contract for the Peace River Road that the contract had gone into what is known as the standstill period, and they are waiting insurance, etc., from the preferred bidder for them to sign off on a contract and for the works to start over at Peace River. So I'm very happy to have been made aware of that development, and I want to encourage the people in Peace River to know that everything is now in place. They're just waiting on the procedures to be complete and for the contractors to come in and take charge of the project and begin their work over there. It's slated to be done. The road is from Victoria to Banana Ground, and it is to be done in 3 phases. So I just want to make that clear, that it's anticipated that it will be done in 3 phases. So thank you again. God bless you, and go out and vote. 3rd term, loading. Bless you. Thank you.
This has been Links 007 TV News Report. Thanks for watching.